When people talk about San Francisco, they often think of the long orange-red bridge to the city, the world-famous Golden Gate Bridge. There are many wonderful photos of the bridge, often with the sun behind it or the fog half over it. A man called Charles Crocker first thought of a bridge here in 1872, but many people did not like the idea. The Golden Gate was a terrible place for a bridge, they said, because the weather was always bad and the seas were very dangerous. Later, in 1921, a bridge builder called Joseph Strauss had a good idea for a long bridge across the Golden Gate, and he talked to many important people about it. In the end, they listened to him, and work began on the bridge in January 1933. It cost more than $35 million, and hundreds of workers built it over 4 years. When it opened in April 1937, it was the longest bridge of its type in the world. It was 2.7 kilometers long, and you could walk, drive, or go by bicycle across it. The first day was very exciting. Over 200,000 men, women, and children came from all over the city and walked across the new bridge. And 50 years later, in April 1987, thousands of people went across the bridge again. This time, there were 300,000 walkers. Some of the older men and women happily remembered their first walk across it in 1937. Of course, this big bridge always needs a lot of work because the fog and seawater move around it all the time. You can find 38 workers on the bridge every day. What do? They make the bridge the famous orange-red color, and their work never stops. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge in a lot of films, too. In the James Bond film A View to a Kill, a dangerous man called Zorin chases Bond, and they have a long fight on the bridge. They move wildly from side to side, but in the end, Bond hits Zorin with his feet, and he goes down into the cold waters of the Golden Gate. When you stand on the bridge and look east across San Francisco Bay, you can see an island. It is very small, but everybody knows its name: Alcatraz. Every year, more than 1.4 million visitors visit this place. And why do they all come? They want to learn more about the story of this terrible prison island. Alcatraz Island first became an important prison in 1907. At this time, it was only a prison for soldiers. Then, in the 1930s, the U.S. government needed a place for the most dangerous people in the country. People from wild cities like Chicago or New York. Soon, they thought of Alcatraz Island. The water around the island is cold and dangerous to swim in. Nobody could escape from there, the government thought. The island became a U.S. government prison between 1934 and 1963, and over the years, 1,545 men lived there. Alcatraz became the home of famous prisoners like Al Capone from Chicago and George Machine Gun Kelly from Tennessee. Life for the prisoners on Alcatraz was not easy. The island is only 2.4 kilometers away from the city of San Francisco. From their little dark rooms, they could always hear the noises of city life from across the water. They were in prison, and they could never forget it. There are escape stories about 36 different men. Perhaps the most famous story is about Frank Morris and the two Anglin brothers, John and Clarence. At 9:30 on the evening of the 11th of June, 1962, the three prisoners got into one of the building's big air vents with the help of spoons and other things from the prison. They carefully went through the air vents and out into the dark night. The men took some old coats with them and made a raft, a type of little ship. Sometime after 10 o'clock, they began to move across the fast, dangerous waters of San Francisco Bay on their raft. And did the men escape? Some people think yes, but the prison said no. The three prisoners died in the cold water, they said. But nobody found their dead bodies, only their raft, and nobody heard from them again. You can learn all about their story in the exciting 1979 film Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood. Watch it, and perhaps you can answer the question: did they escape, or didn't they? The prison closed in 1963. Later, in 1969, hundreds of Native Americans came to Alcatraz and stayed there for 19 months. They were angry with the government about the terrible lives of their people. In the end, the government changed some of their ideas about Native Americans, and they gave the people back some of their old villages and areas. Alcatraz is now a U.S. government park, and you can visit the island all year. Most visitors come in the day, but you can go at night, too. Walk around the dark prison buildings. Look in the rooms and listen for noises. Perhaps you can hear the prisoners from long ago.